is the Retro Philosophy Show. Go on and tell everybody you know. Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Lottie Dottie, and I'm in the building hanging out with Retro. Keep it locked, and don't you dare touch that dial.
Yo, what up? This is Marvin Gibson, aka Big Gip, and you are now tuned in to the Retro Philosophy Show.
Yo, what's up, everybody, including Lottie Dottie? It's your boy Retro with you on today, and I've got a public service announcement for you. Just because you do something that you see an OG do doesn't make you an OG. And just because you get on your motorcycle and you pound from here to there doesn't make you a ground pounder either. You'll never be what you ain't. But hey, like they say in the Army, be all you can be. When you're riding and you get a call from your homie saying, yo, what you up to, where you at? Where's your location? I'm on the bike. And he said, yo, stay put, I'm coming to meet you, I'm on my bike. That's what I'm talking about, man. We out here getting miles and smiles.
Let's go.
What's going on with you?
That's Retro.
Yes, sir.
My man.
We got you, boss man.
Love you, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hey now, this is the Mileage Bully, the Moto Mob CEO, home of the Moto Mob where legends are made. You are now tuned in to the Retro Philosophy Show. Like, share, and subscribe. You know what to do. Press play.
What's up, everybody? This is your man Pablo Frescobar on the Retro Philosophy Podcast, talking about my newly published book, Courage Unveiled, Navigating the Battlefield Within.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this your man Kodak, the most hated, coming to you live from the Retro Philosophy Show, where I always listen to my man, 50 Grand, Pastor Retro.
Say, man, you know what it is, man. Special guest in the building. Much love and respect to my man Retro stopping through, y'all. Y'all know what to do.
Big Cell. You still keeping it 100.
Yo, what's up, everybody, including Lottie Dottie? You already know what it is. It's your boy Retro with you on tonight. And yeah, this is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice. And I'm still gonna be glad in it because He woke me up this morning and started me on my way. Let's make some noise up in here on today. If you know God's been good to you. Again, we want to say thank you and welcome to the Retro Philosophy Show. We have an adult show lined up for you on tonight. We're going to have some adult conversation, a few ground rules. Leave your feelings in the bathroom or in the basement or in the attic, maybe outside in the trunk of the car or something like that. And let's just have a mature conversation on tonight. Telephone line is open, so you guys are more than welcome to call in. And if you have an opinion on the topic that we will be discussing on tonight, by all means, you are more than welcome. The telephone number is scrolling at the bottom of your screen or your cellular device or your tablet or whatever you're watching from, 980-222-4492. Some more ground rules. Be respectful. I mean, period. I don't know how else to say it, respect is a beautiful thing, but it's really beautiful when it's mutual, when it's a two-way thing. You ain't got to like me, but you sure enough gonna have to respect me. Well, you know what? You really don't have to, but things work a whole lot better when respect is given both ways. So often we want respect, but we don't want to give respect, and I think it's a mutual thing. It works better when it's done that way. So, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, go ahead and hit the share button. Let me tell you this. This is, look at here. We ain't gonna be sassy, but we gonna keep it classy. Okay, all right. Yeah, I think I said enough ground rules, right? And so with that said and done, sit back, enjoy the show on tonight. No, don't sit back. Participate. Yeah, participate. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's kill the music. Without any further ado, let's welcome to the Retro Philosophy Show. No stranger, no stranger. And if you have YouTube, you've seen him. If you got a motorcycle and you're riding, you've probably run across him as well. Let's make some noise for the
Say,
one and
man,
only
you
Big
know what
Sel
it
in the
is, man.
building.
Special guest in the building. Much love and respect to my man Retro stopping through, y'all. Y'all know what to do.
Big Sel. You still keeping it 100.
Big Sel, what's going on, brother? Welcome to the Retro Philosophy Show once again. And how you doing on tonight, man?
Say, man, all is good. God is good, and I don't have no complaints, brother.
No complaints at all. You know what? If we do complain, ain't nobody gonna listen to us.
Yeah, well, they're gonna have to hear me, but it ain't gonna matter.
So tell us a little bit about Big Sel and what's going on in the life of Big Sel these days.
Well, I'm a regular dude, man. My passion is motorcycling. I love motorcycling. I probably love it more than I should, but it is what it is.
Okay.
One thing about it, I'm about the truth. I'm
Mm-hmm.
about the truth, and I believe that motorcycling is about life, love, liberty, freedom, and justice for all. You understand what I'm saying? So,
Yes, sir.
anything that's against that, I will always speak on and have a problem with it. If it's against that freedom, the ability to ride free, live free, the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
Straightforward person, and I mean, it is what it is. I stand on what I stand on. Period.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I think a man should stand on what he believes. Um, at what point do we have to change our stance on what it is that we believe? Is there a time when that could change or should change?
I mean, everything grows.
Okay.
Everything grows. Everything comes to a point to where it evolves.
Right.
Especially when it comes to this motorcycle set, so much
Okay.
stuff has evolved. So much stuff has evolved that you have to be able to adapt with the times. You feel what I'm saying? And if you
Yes, sir.
don't, if you don't, you're gonna be you're gonna be left behind. You really are. And I think one of the biggest things, and that's what we're dealing with now, is everybody wants to holler tradition, 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 but it's the tradition has somewhat taken a different trajectory.
Okay.
You know, so I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is. So the tradition has changed. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm not gonna say tradition has changed, but it no longer has the same value.
Okay, okay, yeah. Going back to something else you said, it triggered a thought. How does one remain relevant on the bike set? Or maybe we can just broaden that to end life period. But if you want to deal with it from the bike set aspect, then so be it.
Well, with anything, you have to remain true to yourself. You have to have a purpose, have a drive, have a vision, have something that you believe in.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be able to defend that at all costs for yourself. A lot of times people may have a strong point or may have a strong belief, but they let other people who don't understand their rhythm, who don't understand their get down,
Mm-hmm.
change their perception and change their mind. You feel what I'm
Mm,
saying? And that's where people get sidetracked at when it comes to stuff like that. Me personally, I'm stuck on what I'm stuck on. I take your advice, I listen, I take what I need, and I throw away what I don't. But I'm stuck on my point, and I'm stuck on my stand. So the best advice I can give anybody is to have a plan and
mm-hmm.
stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. You don't share your plan with a lot of people. Just put your head down and get to work, and don't worry about what it looks like to everybody else.
Mm-hmm. So Big Cell, that name, that title, the HNIC, in a lot of areas he's not liked. What's going on with that? Is that true? Is it can you elaborate on that?
Well, I'm probably not liked a lot because hold on, I'm probably not liked a lot retro, based on the fact that I mean I tell it like it is, and if it upsets your agenda, if it upsets your agenda or if it upsets, what you thought it to be, you know, then I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that. But I'm gonna stand on what I'm gonna stand on,
Uh
and
huh.
my agenda is just what it is. It's my agenda, and I'm a research buff. I love doing history. I love doing research.
Yeah.
So before I speak, I'm gonna have enough evidence, and I'm gonna be able to, back this thing up. Whatever I say, I'm gonna be able to back it up tenfold.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it is what it is for me, man. I mean, if you like me, you like me. But there's no way in the world. I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna drop it. You
Okay.
can't know me. You can't really know me and not like me.
So to know you is to love you.
That part right there. I mean, you have no choice.
Yes,
You have
sir.
no choice because I mean, again, hands down, solid all the way across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Solid, super solid. And and again, you know what you get with me. You're gonna get straightforward. You're not gonna get no bullshit. Excuse me for cursing, but
Yeah.
you're not gonna get anything. Um, you're not gonna get it twisted. I mean, and if I don't know, one thing about me is I'm not afraid to tell you. I'm not ashamed to tell you that I don't know.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm not
Most
one of them. I'm not one of them fake it till we make it guys.
fake it till you make it. Yeah. We got it.
I'm
We got
not
enough
one.
of that.
I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them yet.
We got enough of them going around. Lord knows we do.
Period.
Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. Shelly McIver, of course, that's my bride. C1s is in the building. We got Low Key in the building. What's going on? Daryl, no validation needed at all. Good night to everybody who's tuning in on tonight. If you're just tuning in, we have the one and only Big Cell in the building. HNIC of FHO out of the Atlanta area. Let's make some noise.
Originally from Compton, California.
Originally from Compton, California. So I guess we can, he's gonna say now that the West Coast is the what?
The best coast. You
Oh,
already
okay.
know.
I'm just checking, just checking. Shout out to Nurse Nichols in the building. Shaquila Bussy, what's going on, Home Slice? She's watching with us on tonight as well. She says, "Good evening, all." Let me go back, Sel. You said to love you, to know you is to love you. If you don't like Big Cell is telling you it's because you just don't know him. And I'm gonna add to it and say this, that a conversation in most situations can really change a whole lot. However, that conversation has to be a fair conversation.
Well, and it doesn't even have to be my way. I'm
Right.
all right with you. I'm all right with you not liking sale for a valid reason or even invalid reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna lose no sleep about it. And I'm not gonna try to convince you otherwise. If Retro say, hey, I don't like Big Sale, that's his right to say he don't like Big Sale.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And for
Right.
whatever reason or whatever grounds, my biggest thing is just don't poison everybody else with the false narrative.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about your passion, Big Cell. That was one of the things that drew me to you in the beginning. Came across your content years ago, and the passion came through in the video. And of course, it was consistency and so on and so forth. Talk to me about passion, because sometimes it could be a blessing and a curse.
Well, passion will make you spend money you don't have. it will make you take it will make you take chances you shouldn't take.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? It will Having that passion, man, is it's a beautiful thing. Like you said, it's a gift and a curse. Um, the passion for motorcycling, man, it's a it's a it's a it's a crazy love affair.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? It's a crazy love affair because I mean, for example, Retro, what we do, we get out there and we get yonder and we ride. I've been 1,100 miles from home on my motorcycle and said, man, what are you doing out here? What the hell is you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but it's too late to turn around, but you're mad because you left and you're glad because you're gone.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's that passion. And then I think for me, the other part of it, and probably the majority of it, is just watching people get yonder, man, and visit other places because we've always been taught that your world is right here where you are. This
Mm-hmm.
is it. This is your world. but
Yeah.
it's so much bigger than that. There's so much it's so much going on, and there's so many other things out there that you really need to see and be a part of. Some things you may like, some things you may not like. You understand what I'm saying? But until you get out there and actually experience it, you'll never know. And that's the beauty. That's the beautiful thing about motorcycling is that I call motorcycling a team sport with individual players. Period.
Okay.
You have to
Okay.
be an
Okay.
individual. You have to be an individual player on the team. You feel
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, in other words, you got to ride your motorcycle, but it's everybody involved when you ride your motorcycle. What I mean by everybody is that if you're married, your wife is on the bike with you. If you got
Mm-hmm.
kids that they're on the bike with you. If you're in a club, your club members and your club brothers on the bike with you. Your family, everybody is dependent on you to play the game the way it's played, so that you can get to and from safely. You feel what I'm
Wow.
saying? So.
I like that. So when we're on our motorcycles, even if she ain't on the back, she on the back.
Period, because she's worried about you. She's
Yeah.
concerned about you. She's, and it's the thing. Like I say, when I ride my bike, it's so many people I'm riding for.
Right.
You feel what
Right.
I'm
Right.
saying? Not just for the destination and not just for the time, but I made a promise to everybody that I'll be back. When I
Mm-hmm.
left, when I left out the driveway, when I was on the phone with my wife, with my mom, my dad, and I told them, they said, "Hey, son, you get ready to leave? Yeah, I'll be back, Pop." You feel what I'm saying? That's a promise that you make, and they're dependent on you to uphold that promise.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You said something the other day, Sal, because how long you been in this game, man?
Okay, since '06, '06, '07.
Okay, okay. So that's a good little hop right there. You know,
Yeah,
um, does it ever get redundant? Do you ever be like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go and fly kites from now on.
all the time. I wish sometimes, I wish sometimes that I had another passion, that I had something else to do.
Uh-huh.
And like even with my podcast right now, I'm at a standstill, and that's
Mm-hmm.
just, I mean, I'm sharing that honestly with my followers and my people. I'm at a standstill because I feel like I've talked about everything, and it's just right now repeating and repeating and trying to find a different way to tell you the same thing: live life, love, liberty, freedom. You feel what I'm saying? So it's kind of it's it does get redundant, but again, that's the passion that overrides the redundancy and says, okay, one more time. You can do it again, one more time.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
more time. So
That's what's up. Now, your girl Doc J was on show here. She said she don't like Big Cell. So I didn't know if you saw that or not, but she said she don't like Big Cell.
I mean, me and Doc J, that's my sister.
I know,
So,
I know. Yeah, yeah.
and she really ain't got no choice in the matter, no way. So it don't
Right,
matter
right.
whether
That
she
part,
like me or
that part.
not. When I knock on the door, she better open that motherfucker.
Just
That's all
open the
she
door and
knows.
make sure your room ready. Yeah, that part.
that part right
And if
there.
you're hungry, she ought to have something on the stove too, right?
Have my sandwich ready. You understand me? Have my sandwich ready.
Oh man. So my wife, she chimed in. Let me get her coming back up here. She said sometimes your passion can be misunderstood because you're so passionate about it. It can seem like something else to someone who's looking in. And what do you say about that, Big Sal? Your
She's
passion
absolutely
sometimes can be
right. She's
misunderstood.
she's absolutely right. But that's the thing about when we spoke on earlier. I got to know my mission, and I got to know my goal and my end game.
Mm-hmm.
I can't let what you think my passion is deter me from what it is. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? I have to stick to the course, and I have to, again, in spite of all, regardless of all, I
Mm-hmm.
have to do what I'm, stay the course.
Stay the course, bro. Stay the course. All right, let's go ahead and hop in this because I know some people was, they tuned in just for the drama and everything. And of course, as I said earlier, we ain't gonna get sassy, but we are gonna keep it classy. So I definitely do want to touch up on your recent trip with, I believe it was 19 ladies from the Atlanta area.
19 beautiful ladies, man,
19.
who all had dreams, goals, and bucket list, accomplishments that they wanted to do. And actually, it was 20. So I guess if you add KD, who's a vet
Okay.
who's one of the veterans, and whose name probably will be in the history capsule when this whole thing blows up and starts over.
All right.
Um, but it was 19 ladies, man, who took the challenge Some may have done it before. I think out of the 19, maybe 2 or 3, or maybe had did it before, but the other 16 or so were brand
Right.
new to it.
So before
And
we
it
go
was
any
it was
further, Big Sal, before we go any
good.
further, let's just do this real quick. Yeah, that part right there, because we're talking 20 ladies, okay, and they went cross country, and as we've seen on social media, this, that, and the other, it transpired. But I believe everybody made it safe, regardless of what.
Yes, everybody's home safe.
Okay, there we go. So go ahead and continue, and congratulations, kudos to you and KD, because that's no small feat to get 22, including yourself, 21, including yourself, and go cross country and come back. But so go ahead and continue, sir.
No, I mean the ride on the whole, it was just it was a beautiful time. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it was to watch those ladies knock down mile after mile, to watch them get tired, to
Mm-hmm.
watch them have to make decisions. The beautiful thing about this ride was that by it not being my ride, I was not in control.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when they came to me um, for my guru knowledge,
Uh-huh.
I would give them the choices. Okay, if we continue on now, this is what we're up against. If we stop now, this is what we're up against. You
Mm-hmm.
feel what I'm saying?
Right.
According to the weather, this is what it's going to be. This and this and that. And the ladies came together and made the choices. Some of their choices were the choice I would have made, and some of them wasn't the choice I would have made.
Mm-hmm.
But neither one of them per se was a wrong choice.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? It was just they took the harder way when they could have took the easier way a few
Right.
times.
Right.
But again, they done it their way, and that was probably, which was, let me say this, it was totally unorthodox for me because I'm totally used to being in control, and I'm totally used to giving directions and cracking the whip or say, hey, no,
Mm-hmm.
you can't do that. This is the way it got to go, and this is why it has to go that way. Well,
Right.
this trip was totally different for me by it not being my trip, by it being KD's trip, who was the mastermind behind the whole thing, and letting her navigate because she grew, she learned. Um, she grew, she learned a lot as well, as far as um, you know when you riding with the fellas as to riding with brand new people.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a hell of an experience, man. So again, if the ladies ever hear this, man, I want them to know that I'm proud of them. And in my helmet and on my bike, as I'm riding, I'm watching them in the rearview mirror, or if I'm in the back, I'm watching them up front. I pull up on them, hit them with the thumbs up. They did that, man. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna tell you something. These wasn't no ladies on no small bikes. These wasn't no ladies on no. They wasn't on no mopeds. They was on
Right.
full grown man and grown woman, vehicles. And that was, and you have to understand this, a lot of people will not understand what you done until you, like I told them, when you get home,
Mm-hmm.
grab you a map of the United States and look at that map and look that you started here and you rolled through all of these states and ended up here. And
Right.
then you came back home through those states. When you look at it on a map, bro, it takes on a whole different trajectory. You feel
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Than what you actually done. So I'm proud of it.
As you should be, man. So this was not your trip. You were just pretty much like a chaperone, if you will, a borrowed road
A
captain.
boost. I was a boost of confidence. That's all I
Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right.
was.
So would you do it again?
um, I don't think I would ever do another trip where I'm not in charge.
Okay. Now you've taken
Yes,
groups across country before.
I did. I did 40. I did 48 a couple of years ago. I took 48 people, and 45 of them I met at the gas station. I never. They were from everywhere, and I never knew most of them. So
So hold on, man. Hold on. Let me see if I can get my math together here. So you only knew 3 people
yes,
that went on
three
this
people
trip,
that were FH. Three of the people were FHO.
and the rest of the 45 was folks that you just met at the gas station.
I met them at the gas. I told them what gas station we was leaving from and what time, and they were there.
So that's pretty interesting. Because in my mind, trying to compute that, they really just rode along with you and they wasn't really on your ride.
What you mean?
because I mean, they don't know your style of riding. They don't know, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Well, you gotta understand this. The only time you get to ride your ride
uh-huh.
is when you're by yourself.
Okay, okay, okay.
If me and Retro ride
Mm-hmm.
together, I can't ride my ride. I got to ride along with Retro,
Mm-hmm.
so I can't ride my ride.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And when you take a group like that, the only thing you can do is tell them, "Hey, if you listen to me,
Mm-hmm.
I will do the best that I can to get you to and from."
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's the biggest thing is, and then when you're in charge, I say, hey, either do it this way or we're not going to do it at all. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, even with KD's ride, no matter what happens, either she was going to be blamed or I was going to be blamed or we both were going to be blamed for grown ass women that are grown that
Mm-hmm.
accepted the challenge and took the challenge. And if it's something had to happen to them, no matter that they were grown and they were responsible, it was going to be on me and KD.
I saw your video. I think it was your live. You guys were at the gas station, pretty much right at Kickstands Up. You gave a few words of instruction, a few words of encouragement, and I believe there was even prayer. How did you feel in that moment, getting ready to take this trip with those 20 ladies?
I mean, I was I was ready to go from day one,
Okay.
honestly. Because again, it was to me. I'm not gonna say it was just another trip, but I had confidence in KD. You feel what I'm
Hmm.
saying? This was her putting this on. This was her journey. This is something that she wanted to accomplish. So I was there really for the love and the support of Katie and the ladies that she believed in that we gave instruction to. So at that time, I'm at the gas station. I'm just ready to go. To be honest, let's get this show on the road. Type of thing.
Okay, okay. Was there a particular feeling in the air? I mean, did you feel real optimistic about it? Did it feel
Well, no, I mean
special?
it was to be honest. The ladies had bets placed on their head that they wasn't gonna
O-
make it. They was gonna
Okay,
quit. People
yeah,
people was trying to bet me that they was gonna get frustrated with me, and it was all type of it was some negative connotations that was put out there. But like I told them, if they want to go, they'll go. If
hmm,
that's what they want to do, they'll make it. So it really wasn't up to me. I didn't bet on any of the ladies because that's just not what I do. But I had all the confidence in the world that everybody that showed up was ready to go and they would make it.
yeah. That's what's up. Freddie Cinco said, "Wow, bets." Shout out to Slim Wayne in the building. Carmel Tishy, she's in the building. And so this is wow, man. 20 women go across country. I'm sure there were talks to prep everybody what to expect, what not to expect.
Yeah, one thing KD did was she created a group. We had Zoom calls, we had group meetings, we had whatnots, what to do, what to pack, what to buy, what to wear. We talked about finances, we talked about hotels, we talked about the rules and regulations of the road, we talked about what happens if this happens, what happens if this happens, emergency contacts. We talked about everything that we could to prepare the ladies to be comfortable enough to take the ride and not be scared. You feel what
Hmm.
I'm saying? And I think Katie did an excellent job with that. I think the ladies asked some real qualified questions, and they were basically for the most part, on point.
Nice, nice. Um, is there anything you would change, Big Sal, looking
Is
back
there
on that
anything I
trip?
would change? Yeah, it's a few things I would love to do. I would love to teach them, how to travel. On this trip, it was more about just having fun and getting them there. Making sure they wasn't too tense, making sure they wasn't scared. I didn't get a chance to really teach them the way I normally teach when I take a trip.
Hmm.
But other than that, that would probably be it.
So you've been getting yonder for a while. You no stranger on the highway. But realistically speaking, can one really plan for everything that may come up on the road?
Can you plan for everything? I say you can.
Okay.
I say you can plan for. I mean, you can plan for an accident. You can plan for a tire blowout. You can plan for your motorcycle to stop working. You can plan to ride too late into the night to where you can't get a room. I mean, all these things we've experienced. I mean,
Hmm.
from the greats, from Highway Smiley to Snowman to Sharif to K-So. I mean, we've all to you
Hmm.
to to the Most Hated to GQ to. I mean, we've all had enough experience to talk about damn near everything that has happened. I mean, even to the point to where, you're riding faster than what you can see.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So I think you can. I mean, you don't want it to burden you and to bog you down with,
Right.
and stress you out about it. But, you kind of, I think you can kind of prepare for everything that possibly can happen. So.
Shaquila has a saying, it's not my skill, it's my knowledge that gets me back home. So how does that relate to planning for? Because I guess the point that I'm making is sometimes we think because I can ride 1,000 miles without getting tired, I can do this cross country trip, but we fail to acquire certain knowledge. We fail to, learn some things so that because even though we plan for it, how could we plan for what we don't know, what we're not aware of?
Hmm. For example,
Uh huh.
try riding and the freeway ends or the freeway is shut off and you got to reroute. You feel what I'm saying? And you don't have your GPS or you don't have a
Hmm.
phone signal, can you read the signs enough to know, okay, the detour is taking me here, 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 and I got to go 20 miles off the way to come back, to get back to on course or whatever. I mean, those are the things that when she say knowledge versus skill
Uh
come
huh.
into play. Um, you know, those are the things where knowledge versus skills come into play. So
So now we've got 19 girls, not counting KD, going across country. Some of them haven't even got out of state lines. Is that fair to say?
yeah, a lot of them haven't been across state lines.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So in a situation like that, I can tell you XYZ, but until you get out there, does it really resonate? Does it really become real? Can they really grasp that knowledge and extract the wisdom from it sitting in the gas station? Or is,
You're dealing with black folks. You can tell black folks it's gonna be hot all day.
yeah.
Look, man, wear your long sleeve shirt so you don't get sunburned.
Hmm.
Well, I don't get sunburned. I don't sunburn. I don't get sunburned. Hey, wear your long sleeve shirt so you don't
Plus,
get
it's
sunburned.
hot. I don't need to be wearing no long sleeves. It's
Yeah,
hot. I need
yeah.
some breeze.
And then when the sunburn happens,
Oh,
you know.
yeah,
And
yeah.
again, excuse me when I say because we're dealing with black people, but I'm just saying when you're dealing with adults who who appreciate your skill, but still want to make themselves bigger than they want to be an adult too as well. I guess I
Hmm.
don't. I'm trying to figure out the exact. I appreciate Retro's skill. I appreciate you, Retro, for um, I appreciate you, Retro, for taking me on this trip. But I know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
if you know what you was doing, why did you contact me and ask me all these questions?
Right, right, right,
you,
right.
you understand what I'm saying? Because I don't want to appear to be helpless or I don't want to appear to be unknowledgeable or whatever it may be.
Hmm.
So other than that, man, uh, other than that's probably the biggest dilemma is that a lot of people it has to happen to them for them to believe it.
Yeah.
When I tell you it's gonna be hot, okay, I've been hot before, so hot ain't shit. I done been in okay,
Right.
but then when you get out there and it's excuse my term, it's motherfucking hot. You know?
Hold
yeah.
on, hold on. Let me get ready. Where we at? Okay, okay. I'm
Yeah.
ready for you. Okay, okay.
Yeah, that part right there. When
Yeah,
when you get there and it's that, now you're saying, wait a minute, I wasn't expecting for it to be this hot. Well,
yeah, yeah,
I told you it was gonna be hot.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. I think there are some things that we just can't comprehend because we've never experienced it. And, there's a saying that the older I get, the smarter my parents get. And it's not that
mm,
they're getting any smarter. It's just that now I'm experiencing some things that they try to tell me about. And now I know what them jokers was talking about. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But let me jump to a comment real quick. TD205, shout out to TD205 in the building. He's got a real nice YouTube channel. Make sure you guys go and check him out. But he says losing a cell phone signal can be tough, boy. I experienced that and it was nerve-wracking, especially if you are completely dependent on your cell phone for your navigation. You know,
Period.
you don't know that which way certain highways run, and you mess around and get turned around, and my goodness, it could be it could be nerve-wracking. So
Yes, and that's what I mean by I didn't get a chance to teach the girls on this trip,
mm-hmm,
how to travel. All of us ride motorcycles,
mm-hmm,
but traveling on a motorcycle is a different ball game. How not to panic because the gas station is coming up in 50 miles.
right.
You feel what I'm saying? How to know your motorcycle? How to I tell everybody. Everybody asks me, "Still, man, I'm gonna get ready to get yonder for the first time. What should I do?" Take your motorcycle and run out of gas
Yeah, so
before
you'll know
you.
exactly how far it can go. Yeah,
Period. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Take your before you leave. Get your gas all the way down. Take your motorcycle. Watch the light come on. See how many miles it say you got left, and time that. Take your motorcycle and run out of gas. So you'll know. Not to panic when the light comes on. You got a solid 15 miles or a solid
Right.
20 miles. So.
That part right there. Swole guy, what's going on, man? He said, Alaska, you're going to lose signal.
Oh,
uh,
period.
yeah, yeah.
That's 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 a whole different game, Swole. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, but the way my child support is set up, I ain't gonna be able to do that one. But it is what it
Yeah. So Freddie Cinco as well as C1s, they're both talking about atlases and maps and things like that. But some folk can pick one up at the gas station, but they don't know how to read it. So I
Period.
mean, I remember my old man. We used to go on them family trips, boy. He had his atlas, boy, and he read a map, man. He get us there and get us back, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and a lot of it too, if you can just read signs, if you know how to read signs in today's time, if
Right, right, right.
there's enough signs to kind of get you where you want to go. Atlas will streamline it for you,
Hmm.
but you can read signs enough to get to where you want to go. So yeah.
So how important is it for us to stay abreast with some of the older ways of traveling, just in case we mess around and get in an area where there is no signal, or you don't think people worried about that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this: the math that they taught you in elementary is the math you better remember.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's basic math. Basic math is always going at some point in time come into play.
Hmm.
Period. I don't care if you graduated algebra and calculus and the whole 9 yards. At some point in time,
Yeah.
it's going 2 + 2 is going to be 4. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so basic math, and that's learning how to read a map, learning directions, learning how to tell directions, learning how to, if you don't have anything, knowing which way the sun rises and the sun sets. You feel what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
all of those different things, have to matter to you.
Right, they've got to matter. Shout out to the mileage bully. She's in the building again. She says again, that's where knowledge comes in. I've been in places that are remote and no cell signal. Then what? You got to know how highways run and how to read it. That
Period.
whole part right there. And TD205 again, he's echoing the same thing. You have to be able to read road signs. And you know, there have been times when these Harleys ain't always as reliable as we would want them to be. You know what I mean? And my charger is acting funny on my bike. Sometimes it just won't charge. And next thing you know, your phone dead, and now you gotta read those signs to get to where you're going. And to be honest with you, I've become so used to GPS. It's so convenient. So when I don't have it, now I gotta okay, I gotta go back for those basics and make it do what it do. But thank God, we've got enough ability to do so, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. So we got Lavish in the building. What's going on, Lavish? He said, my guy's selling retro. We hear Lavish just chopping it up, man. You mentioned, Big Sale, that you got to go back to the basic math. Okay. And so I want to talk about basics for a moment. Now, if we're going across country and we fall out because I want to keep going and you want to take 30 minutes at the gas stop, and I'm not one of those in and out in 3 minute guys at the gas stop. So if that's a pet peeve for you, I probably can't ride with you because I don't spend all day at the gas station, but if I got to gas and go, I can gas and go. But I guess that goes back to me riding my ride. When I'm riding my ride, me and the wife riding, we get to the gas station, we do what we got to do. We're going to go in. I'm going to probably get a drink or something. And now if I'm with you, Big Sal, and I already know how you get down, I knew that before I left the first gas stop. So there's no need.
But it all depends on. Is it my ride or is it your ride?
Okay.
If
Well,
it's your ride,
uh-huh.
then the gas station stop won't bother me because it's your ride.
Right. So, but and that's the point that I'm making, right? So if it's my ride and you're coming along on my ride, you don't have the right to force me to ride the ride you want to ride,
At
unless
all.
now we've communicated before we left and say, hey, look, I don't like staying longer than 15 minutes at the gas stop, and I know you like to take 30 minutes. So what we're gonna do is we're
That
gonna
still
agree on
doesn't
12
matter.
minutes.
That still doesn't. None of that matters. If it's Retro's ride, I'm
Uh
riding
huh.
with Retro.
Okay.
So now the only time that won't apply is if you're putting me in a dangerous situation.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm gonna ride Retro's ride. Period. If Retro at the gas station for 30 minutes, I'm at the gas station for 30 minutes. I might not
Mm-hmm.
like it because I'm knowing that, hey, Retro, we just did 90 miles an hour for what? We might as well went to cruise at the speed limit
Uh
and
huh.
just took our time to get here. So I might not like it, but I'm gonna ride Retro's ride. If it's
Okay.
Retro's ride, I'm riding. Now, if you ride with me, then these are my rules and regulations.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So I can never force my ride on your ride.
Okay.
You
Do
know.
you
Now,
think people understand that?
well, I hope they do. I hope I tell them all the time, just like the girls.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all saw the video of them at the gas station turning up and
Oh, they was turned up.
partying and hey, listen, man, we don't do that shit. But
Yeah.
it's y'all ride. It's
Uh-huh.
y'all ride. I'm gonna talk shit in the background under my helmet and all of that. But it's
Yeah.
y'all ride. Enjoy yourself, ladies.
Yeah.
You feel
Yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But that ain't what we do. Like for example, I came home in less than 48 hours. I left LAX Monday morning, and I was
Uh-huh.
home Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Period. I mean, because I wasn't at the gas station. They not like us.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah.
They not like us,
So
huh?
yeah. So, but again, that was my ride. You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, when I'm riding with somebody else, if you're riding with me, then these are the rules and regulations. And if you can't ride with me, no problem. But if I'm riding with you, then I'm riding with you.
Okay. And again, I'm only going to touch up a couple points. Number one, because I said I would, and number two, because it was just widespread over the interweb. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention it before this show was over. I'm not trying to be messy, but we're going to talk about it real quick and then we'll keep it moving. A lot of people are saying if we leave together, we come back home together. But is that always the case? Or are there exceptions to
So
the rules?
so so let me break it down like this. Okay. Let's just say it's me, Retro, and Kodak.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Kodak has came on this trip with us, but Kodak only got 9 days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Me and you, Retro, we got 15 days of vacation. Kodak only got 9 days of vacation.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So we say, hey, listen, this is what we're gonna do. We sit down, we talk about it, we put a plan in place. Okay, blah 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 blah. Retro with the whole 9 yards. Now we take off and we leave.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and Retro has a breakdown that
Mm-hmm.
causes us a 2 day delay. Okay, now Kodak has to be back at home or has to be where he needs to be because this is his time schedule.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So do we tell Kodak the hell with your job and the hell with all that? No brothers left behind. You can't leave us, or do
No.
we say, hey brother, we got this. We good. We safe. You go ahead and go on about your business.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there are certain circumstances that override that. We come together. We leave together. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying?
Right.
There will be times where a situation will arise where that won't be the case.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, as I always say, you have to be grown enough to ride this ride, meaning financially, mentally, physically, spiritually, and wholeheartedly. You got to be able to say, hey, if something happened and I'm the only person left, I still got to go home.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
I
So,
understand.
yeah. So in that situation, you can holler. We come together. We leave together. We go home together. You can holler that all day, but there will be circumstances that will negate that
Hmm.
and change that rule.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's the rule of thumb, but there will always and can always, I should say, can always be exceptions that cause that to change. And so yeah, that whole part right there. We got to know for me, if I leave with a group, you know, in the back of my mind, I understand. I'm not looking for it. I'm not hoping for it. I'm not planning on it. But I understand that circumstances could occur that will cause me to have to take the rest of this trip solo for whatever
Yeah.
reason. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so if something like that was to happen, do we have the right to be in our feelings?
Well, so for example, I'm gonna bring it up. For example, in this ride we just had with the females, we had a female I think who was scared and
Hmm.
never said anything, and because she was scared, it was her first trip or whatever. As an adult, she was scared, and so when she was left safe,
Hmm.
in her mind, she was left alone. You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But there's one thing about a motorcycle. You have to ride that motorcycle. I can't ride your motorcycle.
Right.
So when you're on your motorcycle, you're alone for the most part. Now, if you got a passenger, you got a passenger. But for the most part, we all ride our motorcycles by ourselves. You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I just really believe that emotionally, um, she got caught up with the emotion thing. I think she may have been scared and didn't know how to say, "Hey, listen, I'm scared. Don't leave. Don't leave me here, or what do I do, or whatever it was." And the lack of communication may have caused all of that because if that person had said, "Hey, I know y'all supposed to get me safe and sound, but I don't want to be left alone because I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I'm whatever." Then maybe the outcome would have been a lot different. But
Hmm.
from a standpoint of being grown, we always say make sure you are grown enough to ride this ride. Meaning that, hey, if for whatever reason I just say, you know what, Retro, I'm gonna stay extra 2 days.
Hmm.
That's my right to say I'm gonna stay extra 2 days. Now I can't put that on Retro, to say, hey, Retro, you got to stay 2 more days too, because
Right.
you might have plans to your family, maybe family reunion or whatever it may be. You understand what I'm saying? So you can say, well, damn, Sil, I came because of you. We supposed to ride back together. Yeah, but I don't feel like riding. No, I ain't feeling too good.
Hmm.
So you gonna make me ride sick and jeopardize me, hurting myself or whatever. And there's always a situation. The thing about riding with a group is you say we leave together, we come together.
Hmm.
We left together, we come back together. That is the plan,
Hmm.
but that plan doesn't always it doesn't always manifest that way.
Okay. A couple more questions. The young lady who was left, was she left? Was she just, what was the case there?
So it's 1 o'clock in the morning. We decided to leave early. We're in Needles, California. We're 270 miles from our hotel destination in Los Angeles, California. The night before, she said her bike was acting up. I don't remember getting that memo, but the morning that we left, it was never brought up again that her bike was messing up
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, and we just didn't know. So we take off on a ride, and we're on in the middle of the desert on a 2-lane freeway, and her bike is acting up. We already agreed that if I pull up to you and I give you the thumbs up, if something is wrong, you give me the thumbs down.
Right.
And then we immediately know to start working our way over, to try to get off or whatever. She did get out of formation and put her flashers on, but again, we said getting out of formation, you might be back there sexting or something. You might be on a Zoom call, or you
Yeah.
might be on you got a whole freak show going on or something. So we're not gonna just get out of line because of that. But when I gave her the thumbs up, she never gave it back. Eventually, she felt she had to get off. She had to pull over, and when she pulled over, at the time she pulled over, it was not a emergency lane. It was a truck lane for the trucks coming down the hill. Slower.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it wasn't an emergency lane.
Right.
So she pulled over, did what she had to do. About a mile and a half up, we all pulled over into an exit. We got off at an exit, but we didn't get
Okay.
off the freeway. We just got into the exit,
And we
part.
talking about like 1 o'clock in the night, in the morning.
So it was about 1:30. It's probably
Yeah.
about 1:30. We,
Okay.
we immediately give instructions to everybody else. Hey, it's dark. We can't be on the side of this road. We don't know what's out here. We saw a couple of coyotes, or
Yeah, there's
big
that.
rats, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever the hell they big rats, coyotes, whatever the hell they was. So we gave instructions, and we immediately proceeded to walking back towards her. So she may have been alone on the highway for probably about 15 minutes max, 15,
Okay.
maybe 20. And I'm being super generous with the time. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right behind her was two other ladies that we left because we gave instructions. Hey, we have to be gone. They stayed a little later, so that they left. So when we left the gas station, they were pulling into the gas station.
Okay.
Okay.
So the
So
ladies,
they
the two
gassed
ladies that
up.
were left, they understood that they were being left and they were cool with that. And
Yeah,
so,
they,
okay.
they,
Yeah.
they understood.
Okay.
So while we were leaving the gas station, they were pulling in the gas station. So they gassed up and they were right behind us. So again, Katie, quick thinking, and the other ladies, quick thinking, like, hey, call Mimi and them, let them know that little bit done pulled over on the side of the road. If they can pull up and be with her until we can walk around there and get to her.
Right.
In the process of that, they pulled up. Maybe, like I said, so she was probably left alone for, I'm gonna just be generous, 15 minutes
Mm-hmm.
before she had somebody with her on the side of the road. We tried to walk back down there. It was a little bit further than what we thought, maybe a mile and a half, maybe 2 miles instead of the mile and a half. And we're in the pitch black dark.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna tell you no lie. We're worried about our safety. We scared,
Yeah.
So by the time they got to her, we made all the phone calls to different mechanics. We reached out to different people, and we started putting in place. Hey, we need to get her off this,
Off the
off
road.
this mountain. Period. So we called Highway Patrol 911. Hey, we have a biker that's on the side of the road in pitch black dark. Can you guys come out with some lights and some assistance so we can figure this thing out? They dispatched the officer. We then also hung up and called a tow truck company. Hey, we need a bike towed, because we knew no matter what it was, we had to get the bike towed,
Right.
period,
Right.
even if it was whatever it was. So we did all of that. The girl who stopped, never did any of that.
Mm-hmm.
All she did was sit there and cried, I guess, or sat there and was frustrated, or
Yeah.
whatever. Um, but we did all of that. We called the Highway Patrol 911. We called the tow truck driver to say, "Hey, send a tow truck. It is what it is. We got to get this thing done." And the females that pulled up, one of the females said, "Hey, well, we said, well, bring her up here with us while we wait on the tow truck."
Mm-hmm.
She took her bag with all her belongings in it, and left it on the side of the road by the motorcycle, put the girl on the back seat, and brought her up to us.
Nice.
At that time, Highway Patrol is there with us, and they're saying, hey, she has to be with the bike when the tow truck driver pull up. If she
Okay.
doesn't, he's going to impound the bike.
Mm.
So the girl put her back on the bike, and no, I'm sorry, let me start. Highway Patrol then said, okay, hey, I tell you what, we will take her back down there, and we will wait with her until the tow truck driver comes.
Okay.
So she got in the backseat of the tow truck, backseat of the Highway Patrol car. They took her back down to her bike, with the lights on and everything, and they waited at behind her bike or in front of her bike or whatever until the actual tow truck driver came and gave him instructions on what to do. Now, the girl that left her bag had to go back and get her bag, and at that point, we know, hey, she's going to the dealership. We've already called the dealership. We've already called the best we can to say, left a message on the answer machine. We called a couple of people that say, hey, she's going to be going to the dealership. At that time, KD also called and said, find out what hotels were around the dealership. You understand
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So we went far and beyond to make sure that she will be at a dealership. Whatever's wrong with her bike, she can get fixed. And if she needs to get a room, we already got that reserved, the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we do know that there's other riders coming behind her. So we started calling them to say, hey, on your way in, stop by this dealership and check on so and so. On your way in, check on so and so. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Stella, okay, Key, okay, KD. What's wrong with it? Well, her bike broke down, whatever. Now, we decided at that time, once we got everything safe and secure, because you can't get no more secure than highway patrol.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
I mean, you're sitting in the back seat of their car, or their vehicle, and they're waiting on you. The tow truck driver, the whole 9 yards. We proceed to take off. Now, the part that I guess everybody is saying is that we didn't go to the dealership with her. Okay. By the time she got to the dealership, Retro, she was less than 130 miles from Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We decided that we were just going to go to Los Angeles. She's going to be straight. We got riders coming in behind her that's going to check on her. If she's ready, they're going to grab her to go, and we're gonna get to LA because we were tired. We've been on the road 4 days at this time. This is day 4 on the road. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's hot. We're tired. Some of the women were starting to have medical issues, asthma, and some other stuff. So we decided to say, hey, well, we're going to go to LA, and she can, once she get her bike or her situation figured out, she can just ride on into LA. And we know that there was other people going that will be coming with her to LA. Now, if you call that being left, then leave me all the time that way.
Yeah. Yeah. How different would have it been, Big Cell, if this was a trip where you guys, how long did you guys carve out for this trip total?
We carved out 4 days.
Okay, 4 days. So let's
4
say
days to get there.
okay, so let's say you guys planned a trip for 4 days, and it was just, it wasn't a destination trip because this was a destination trip.
Period.
Right, you guys were going there for the Red Parade annual, and had it been a different trip where there was no destination per se, other than maybe just going to see, I don't know, the Grand Canyon or something like that, would it have played out differently in terms of, well, let's just wait for her at the Harley shop and so on and so forth?
Oh, if I'm on vacation, I'm on vacation.
Hmm.
There is, like I said, like before, I gave you the example earlier. Like me and you, we got 15 days.
Right,
What you call them? Kodak only got 9 days.
right.
You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, we got a couple of days to lay around and chill, and because we're not in no rush.
Hmm.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But in this particular situation, we already had established that Wednesday night, our goal is that we will be pulling up in at the Wednesday night bike night, win, lose, or draw. Period.
Hmm.
That was our goal. So we already said that.
So that had already been
And
previously discussed.
discussed several times, the whole 9 yards. Yes.
Okay, so she gets to the dealership, she gets her bike fixed up, and she does make it to California.
Come right on in.
Come right on in. Yeah. All right.
And one of the ladies that was coming behind stopped there with her, and they and they rode together. So
That's good.
I think what happened, and again, she's a beautiful soul, hands down.
Hmm.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at the accusations or anything like that. But I think what happened was she was frightened of being by herself. Period, or even dealing with this situation, possibly by herself or whatever. And that was never discussed. That was never told to us that, hey, I'm scared. I don't want to be by myself. Please don't. I'm not saying please don't leave me, but
Right.
will somebody stay with me at the dealership or whatever? And none of that was ever said. So I'm under the impression, like Retro, hey Retro, you good? We got you to the dealership, hotel right across the street. You good? All right, we gone. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's standard and or normal procedures. Now, if we're not on the timeline and Retro bike breakdown and shit, hey man, we just get a room and kick it. We find us something to do here until we figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
So
Lavish said that's part of the game. Break down and then catch up later.
hey,
But I guess, when you're a little newer to it, some stuff like they say, if you know, if you know, you know. What's
Yeah,
understood ain't got to be explained.
yeah.
Um, but my thing is a lot of times people will agree to the agreement, they will agree to the setup
The whole
until
9 yards.
it gets sticky, and now, like Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so now when that bike breakdown, even though I agreed to this, that, or the other, I'm in my feelings, and I'm, not saying that she was, but things changed in the moment. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
shout out to her and the rest of the
Because
ladies.
it was never a money issue for her. She had plenty of money.
Right, right, right.
Um, it was just a run of fucked up bad motorcycle luck, I guess. I don't know, but it was never a money issue, so she was never short in that aspect. Um, it was just what it was. I mean, I don't know, so I don't know.
I tell you what, man, it's one thing. I'd have been more scared of what could have come out of them woods than who would have came down the highway. I'll fight off a crazy person, but that doggone coyote,
Yeah, well,
watch out now.
I was prepared to. I wasn't taking no losses on the side of the road, brother.
Yeah,
Because Keisha had already made a joke like, "Hey, still," I said, "Hey, he gonna have to take his ass whooping today because I'm
yeah,
fighting whatever come out the woods
I
today."
know that's right.
But and to answer Lavi's question, again, the side of the road may have been 15 minutes, may
Hmm.
have been 15, and I'll be super generous and say 20 minutes.
Yeah,
That she was on the side of the road by herself. So. I mean, I don't even. I know for a fact it wasn't that long, but I'm just being super generous with that. So I don't
I
know.
like the point that Nolika says, Miss Williams. She says, plus it wasn't a club ride, so things are a little different.
Yeah,
How different does that make things, being that it wasn't a club ride?
but I mean, but the rules that we put in place, get your bike to the dealership and to a hotel. Those are just rules for yonder. If
Period.
you get yonder, if you get yonder, okay, whether you in an MC, a club, whatever you want to call it,
Hmm.
those are rules. Retro is not going to make the whole club delay them when it's his bike. That
Hmm.
that's that because let's just say the bike can't be fixed,
Right.
and now you either got to get a rental car to continue the trip or fly back home or whatever. Or let's just say you had an emergency back home. Hey, brothers, I got to get my bike to a dealership and I got to get to the airport and go back home. We
Hmm.
can't say, no, Retro, you can't leave us. We came together.
Yeah.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
I mean, what was done was if you, so let me just say this, okay? If you get yonder,
Hmm.
if you get yonder, there's a possibility that you may start off with 5 and end up with 2.
Very, very, very plausible.
There's a possibility you may start off with 5 and end up with just you.
Hmm. Hmm.
These are possibilities. I'm just telling you. And these are the rules and regulations of getting yonder for even a club. I'm not going to hold up the 25, 30 members of FHO because my bike is down. Matter of
Hmm.
fact, give you a perfect example. When my bike broke down on the way to Arizona, it was just me and my man Shorty Oops.
Yeah.
Um, Once we made arrangements and got to the hotel and everything, the next morning I said, "Hey, Shorty, you might want to go and get up out of here." And I had to stay at the hotel for a whole day waiting on the tow truck to come from Arizona to pick me up. And I was in Texas. I think I was in Odessa, Texas. And the tow truck came from Arizona to pick me up in Odessa, Texas to take me to Arizona. But
Wow.
I didn't hold him up. I said, "Hey, Shorty, you got it?" Boom. And he took off and left me at the hotel.
Hmm. Hmm.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, these are just, and again, like I said, I think, and I know for a fact, all glory be to God. I know for a fact that this was just a person that was scared and never communicated that, hey,
Hmm.
I don't want to be left alone. I know that I agreed to these rules and regulations because we talked about we talked about this not once, not twice, not 3 times, but several times. That, hey, these are the rules. If something happened, medical breakdown or whatever it is, we're going to get you to the dealership, we're going to get you to a hotel, and we're going to keep it pushing.
So let me
So
ask you this, Big Sale, and I'm going to respect your time as well as those who are viewing tonight. But would you suggest someone taking such a long trip for their break-in trip, or would you suggest something a little bit more, local or halfway before you just launch out and go cross country? Because TD 205 says you got to stay ready for the unexpected. But if you don't have the experience, you don't know what to expect versus what not, or you don't even, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think you can prepare for a long ride. You just got to do it.
You just got to do it.
You can prepare. You can prepare with having the right equipment, making sure your motorcycle as best as it can be. But a brand new motorcycle, we didn't have brand new motorcycles break down.
Still break down. True
Still
indeed.
break down. We didn't, so that's just the nature of the beast. The only thing you could do is be prepared to deal with the situation,
Mm-hmm.
i.e., have enough money, have your AAA, have what you need to have, or have the connections, the phone calls, and your Rolodex, or whatever you need to have. But I don't think you can prepare for a big ride by riding smaller rides and then doing a big ride because your bike. Let's just say you do 4 or 5 small rides. There's nothing
Mm-hmm.
wrong with the bike, and
Right.
then you get on the big ride and the bike just fucking goes haywire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I don't think there's no way to say do smaller rides, not unless you're trying to see maybe your stamina or maybe to see how you feel after 7, 8 hours or something like that. But that's a to me that's more of a personal thing. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you know you're a drowsy person, you might not can ride 7, 8 hours, but
Yeah.
you'll never know. You'll never know until you do it.
Until you get out there and make it do what it do. That part right
Yeah.
there. So I understand that some girls came back via airplane and not via 2 wheels. Talk to me on that, Big Sal.
So okay, so we all know that at big motorcycle events, you got the good and you got the bad. Okay. The good is all of us who come to party, have a good time, and represent and participate. And then the bad is all those who come knowing that we're coming to have a good time,
Mm-hmm.
participate, and represent. We have one agenda, they have another agenda. You feel
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Unfortunately, this particular event, Rare Breed Los Angeles, is an all-star weekend. The best of the best, all the way from Japan to China to Australia. Everybody comes out, from brand new riders to seasoned riders to vets. It's the all-star weekend,
Mm-hmm.
period.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what comes along with that? The all-star and the thieving business. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The all-star motorcycle crooks and thieves and whatever else. So it's not Rare Breed's fault for being successful. You understand what
Okay.
I'm saying?
Okay. Right.
For putting on a successful event. It's not their fault. Okay, you can't blame them for putting on a successful event that attracts everything from
Mm-hmm.
everywhere, all good and bad.
Right.
So it's not their fault. What I will say is from this point forward, whenever I am speaking of speaking of telling somebody about going to the West Coast or going to LA, and not just Rare Breed, but California, period. We all know California is far advanced than most of the other states when it comes to everything. Period. It is what it is. I'm not down in nobody else's state, but when it comes to everything,
Mm-hmm.
swag, motorcycling, the whole California is further advanced than all of that. So when it comes to stealing bikes, California is more advanced. And listen, and again, I'm not being no asshole. I'm not being smart. Like, I'm just saying they're more advanced than we are in Georgia per se. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to prepare as best as we can anytime we go to any big event. Again, anything on the West Coast, Texas, even we got a big event coming up here.
Mm-hmm.
We have to prepare because, again, with the motorcycle set being so public and so open, hell, the thieves know they got our flyers just like a motorcycle rider got our flyers.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Everybody got the flyer. The good and the bad got the flyer. So if this is my business or this is my get down or this is my hustle, whatever you want to call it, for me to steal bikes, shit. Retro and Sell them gonna be in Atlanta for King of the South. Oh, it's gonna be a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of
Mm-hmm.
motorcycles out there. You feel what I'm saying? oh, Retro and Sale gonna be in LA for Rare Breed. There's gonna be a bunch of motorcycles out there. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
sir.
the game is the game.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? The only thing we can do, and the only thing I will add to my repertoire, is to start teaching people to say, hey, at these bigger bike events, you might want to, really invest into, your different security. You might want to make sure that you lock your bike up, watch your surroundings, whatever it is. You understand what I'm saying? Like I saw Gorilla Blue. That boy had 2 pit bull chains, 1 Rockwaller chain,
Yeah.
and then he had the nerve to hit the chirp. The chirp, chirp. I said, hey,
They
and,
wasn't
and,
getting
and
his joint.
again, hey, period. And as funny as that may sound, he did what he had to do to make sure that his motorcycle was not going to be the one that was taken. And you can't be mad at that.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So, and again, it's not, you can't put it on one club, or you can't even put it on one region. From Sturgis to Daytona
Uh-huh.
to
Myrtle
LA to
Beach.
Atlanta to this, it's just the bigger rallies.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? And you can have they need to have security, you can say whatever you want to say. All I'm telling you, the only thing that you can do for sure to protect yourself is to make sure that you do everything you can to
Yeah.
protect your motorcycle.
Hey, Big
And,
Sal,
yes.
I gotta give a shout out to your boy Lavish. I was wondering who was gonna stand up in the comment section and rebuttal your statement about Cali having the most. And Lavish said Detroit is more advanced with swag than California. So
Oh my
I
goodness!
mean,
Come on,
shout out to swag. Shout out to Lavish for standing up, man. I'm
lavish,
saying.
lavish. Listen, man. Let me just say this, man. Let me just say this about lavish, man. The only thing Detroit got on the West Coast is snow. Y'all got that shit locked and loaded, man. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Y'all got snow, and y'all got the 8 mile, or the 8 mile, whatever y'all call that shit. But
yeah, yeah,
listen,
yeah.
man, when it comes to the con artist game, when it comes to the game,
Uh-huh.
uh, California is where all of it comes from, bro. New
Okay.
York, I would say maybe California, New York,
Okay. Okay.
Chicago, maybe, or whatever, maybe Florida. I don't want to put them, but everybody know that the best thieves come out of California, right? Now, the biggest thing that we got to do too, and Punchy said this, and a couple of the Rare Breeds were saying this, is that what we have to do, Retro. One of the other things that we have to do is that if we know these people that are doing this,
Mm-hmm.
we have to start putting them on blast and calling them out and keeping them, not letting them get away with,
Mm-hmm.
taking your homeboy stuff or taking your visitor stuff or whatever. And that's one of the things that's just a nationwide thing, period. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if you know you on OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace and you see somebody with a whole paint set,
Mm-hmm.
and I know you want to, get ahead of the game and get your bike done, you really got to consider like, hey, this may be somebody's shit that was
Right.
taken from them, and
Right.
whatever it may be, But that's another story for another day. My biggest thing is that for me, I'm adding to my repertoire now is we have to understand that now. Um, securing bikes now is a thing. It
Yeah.
wasn't a thing, a couple of years ago, but now it is a thing. If you're going to these big rallies, from California rallies to Daytona rallies to the Roundup, it is a thing now. So it's just something that we got to talk about and something that we got to be on point with.
So Big Cell's been doing this for multiple years, for many years, but even after this trip, you've walked away with some newfound understanding and knowledge. Is that true to say?
For sure. For
So
sure.
it's proof that we are still students in this game. What else you got to
Still
say for us,
student.
Big Cell?
Huh?
What else you got to say tonight?
I mean, my biggest thing is this, man. To all the ladies, even to my girl, you made it.
Mm-hmm.
You did something that 70% of the people on the bike set have not done.
Yeah.
Your story, having brain surgery and everything else that you went through, should have been the focus. In spite of the video of you falling out of, the heat exchange at the gas station and all of that. Those are victory laps, baby. Those ain't embarrassing moments. Those are victory laps. Period. That's what you should have took when you crossed that Georgia state line. That's when you should have took your Rocky, you know how Rocky ran up the steps and all of that and did his whole.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you were supposed to take your Rocky Balboa stand. In spite of everything I've been through, I made
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's what should have been the concentration, not the being left, not the first time being alone on your motorcycle, having to make decisions, you know, or whatever, all by yourself. That wasn't the downfall. You were victorious. You made it back to Georgia, safe and sound. You did that. You feel what I'm saying? And to all the other ladies, y'all did that. You did what 70% of the people that own a motorcycle have not done.
Have
And
not
you
done.
rode across country. That is the victory. And that's what I want everybody to start getting on. And for the people who got their motorcycle stole, hey, it could have been mine.
Right.
It could have been Retro's. It could have been whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we know now that securing our motorcycles is a thing now.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? You can't blame it on Rare Breed. You can't blame it on Daytona. You can't blame it. These are big events.
Right.
Again, these are big open public events.
Right.
So it's open to, when they say open to everybody, that includes them. You understand what I'm saying? So there is no, there is no one person or no one club or no one event responsible for that situation. And we know, no matter, oh, you got insurance, you'll get it back. Don't nobody want to hear that shit when you done stole that shit.
Yeah.
Don't know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
don't nobody. The hell with. I got insurance. Yes, I have insurance, but who's trying to go through all that?
Right.
You know,
Right. Right.
at the end of the day, it's a hurting thing, and it's something that we as a biker community, and with these along with these shops and these bike builders and these backyard builders, it's something that we got to tighten up on, man. If we don't give them an avenue to buy the products, then they're gonna stop fucking with the products because it's gonna
Right.
be worthless. It's gonna be worthless. If you're stealing bikes and you can't get no money for them, then you stop stealing bikes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
That
So,
that part
I
right there.
mean, that's just what it is, man. But you got people in an uproar about it, and again, man, we lost Rare Breed lost 3 brothers. There was a couple other deaths that weekend. We're
Wow.
not gonna stop motorcycling because of that.
Right.
You understand
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying? Everything is a lesson. Everything that we go through, everything that we learn, it's all a lesson. And we just, if you don't know right now that riding a motorcycle is dangerous, then you're fooling yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Every day you get on that motorcycle is a day you may not return.
True
Period.
indeed.
And I'm telling you from my heart. I'm telling you all. Never take for granted that when you get on that motorcycle, you'll be back.
True.
Period.
True indeed,
Never
man.
take that for granted.
True
So
indeed.
to all of the ladies, you made it back. You safe. You home. Congratulate yourself, enjoy it, the victory, enjoy the moment, in spite of in spite of the breakdowns, in spite of the left on the side of the road, in spite of all that, in spite of all of your physical challenges, in spite
Mm-hmm.
of all of your mental challenges, baby, y'all did that.
Did that
You
thing.
understand me? And that's what you should be celebrating. We shouldn't be on Facebook going back and forth about, your definition of being left, my definition of being left, Retro's definition of being left. No, you're back home, you made it, and that's all we should be celebrating. As the song say, millions didn't make it, but I'm one of the ones that's still here. You
I'm
understand
one of the
me?
ones that's still here. That part right there.
So yeah, so that's the part we need to be celebrating. And as far as those cats that are out there raining on our parade by stealing our bikes, we will get to the bottom of it. We will, get some straightening on it. And we
Yes,
as a
sir.
community, we just got to get back to taking care of our own and tightening up, like I said. So I do know that now securing your motorcycle is now a thing. Just like you invest in everything else, you're gonna have to invest in security for your motorcycle.
That part right there, because otherwise they might like it more than you do, and come and get it. Let's see here. Correct. Some of the best go down. We gotta stay prayed up. That part right there. We gotta stay prayed up.
Period.
Big Cell, this one's for you,
Period.
big dog.
Millions didn't make it,
Hey, that's my shit right there.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
one of the ones who
Yes,
did.
sir. Go ahead and sing, Marcel.
Millions
Hey,
didn't make it.
I'm
Oh,
telling you,
Jesus. I was
that's what
one of
she should have
those.
been playing when she came across that Georgia line. That's what
Yeah,
she should have been playing.
yeah, 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 yeah. Because
I'm
some have
telling you
gone
that's
shorter distances and didn't even make it.
and didn't even make it. Period.
Yeah,
In spite of being left on the side of the road, in spite of everything, you made it. You feel
yeah.
me? So yeah.
So here's what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna dedicate this show to the ladies who took it from ATL to California and back, despite the challenges, the obstacles, the hurdles, the disappointments, the upsets. It's all a part of the story. And even though, like right now in the moment, it might not, some people might still kind of be in their feelings, but these will be stories that will be told to your children and your grandchildren and your neighbors and your friends and your church mothers and stuff like that, because I'm saying cross country, yo, they did that thing. They did that thing.
They did. They
They did
did.
that thing. Yeah. So
And I'm telling you, and you got people that are envious of you right now. You got people saying, I'm going on the next one. I
yeah.
saw so and so do it. If so and so can do it, I know I can do it. I'm
Yep.
telling you, you ladies, all of you, from the lady that from my girl that had the situation, you
Uh-huh.
don't even know how many people you've inspired.
Right.
You know, people that may have not had such a serious illness as you had or a sickness or whatever, people that may be, that may have had the same thing. You gave them, you blew I ain't gonna say you blew an opportunity, but you should have celebrated an opportunity to give somebody else the courage and the strength to do it.
Hmm.
And that's just what it should have been. I mean,
So by God's grace, see, there's a quote that I often quote. The What the enemy meant for evil, God turned it around for my good. And the
period.
book of Romans tells us, and we know all things work together for good to them that love God, to those who are the called according to his purpose. So ladies, keep
That's
your
right.
chins up. Big Cell, keep your head up. It's kind of big, man. You might need some assistance, but keep it up as best you can, bro.
Amen. Amen. To God be the glory, man. And again, I know I told y'all I was gonna retire, but I lied. I'm
I know
still
you
here.
lied. I know you lied. Take your funky self somewhere and sit down somewhere. Shout out to Preach Creed. He's in the building, man. He said that's his theme song as
Preach,
well. Yes, sir. Yes,
preach.
sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
sir.
And again,
Uh,
Retro, let me do this for you too, man. Let me give you your flowers as well, man, because again, um, I mean not prison ministry, but motorcycle ministry. Um, it's not easy. We are a
yeah.
bunch of heathens. We are a bunch of, flagrant flag throwers and all kind of stuff. And yet and still, brother, one thing I love about you is you never criticize, you never judge, and you never hold it against us. You might close your eyes and say a lot. Okay, say a lot. I got you. And I just want to tell you, man, thank you for having the passion to continue. Thank you for having the passion to have your show. A lot of people don't know what it takes, man, to do what we do with this podcast and
Yeah.
the time, the effort, the energy, the
Hmm.
money, that microphone that you're in front of. They
Hmm.
don't have a clue. They just don't have a clue. But I'm proud of you, brother. I love you.
Thanks, bro.
Um, and again, brother, whatever encouragement I give you, all glory be, and just continue as long as you have the passion to continue to do what you do. Don't worry about the numbers.
Yeah.
Don't worry about Don't worry about the likes and the. Are you watching my video? Because I'm there to drive you crazy. Trust me. It'll drive you crazy. Trust
Yes,
and
sir.
believe. I've been there. So just continue to do what you do from your heart, brother, and watch it all just come to life.
Man, we appreciate it, Big Cell. We got nothing for love for you, man. You already know what it is, man.
Yes, yes, yes. So,
Thank you for taking time to come on, Little Guy Show on tonight and just chit chat with us. Because, as we were saying, man, some stuff is just unpredictable. Shout out to Predator in the building, I should say Kenny, aka the Predator in the building. What's going on, fam? Then my people's tuning in on tonight. I saw Nurse Nichols in the building a little earlier. Preach said, I agree. We definitely can be our authentic self with retro. That part right there, man. I mean, because when I see you, I see myself. So, I mean, ain't no need for me to get funny and act brand new. You know what I mean? Every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. So by his grace, folks, by his grace.
by His grace.
Yes, sir. Lavish Biker Podcasters Unite. I like that, bro. I like that. You better believe it. As my wife would say, you better want to know it. So
Only thing I'm gonna tell Lavish is to
uh-huh.
get rid of his co-host. Lavish, your co-host. Get out of here.
Okay, you hear that, Lavish? We're gonna get at you, Lavish. We're gonna get at you, bro. Nothing but love. Nothing but love. Shout out to Richard Gardner, all in the building, all the way from Massachusetts, making it do what it do. Buffalo Soldiers in the building. Let's make some noise for them. Big Sam, we'll get at you, big dog.
Peace, brother.
All right,
Peace.
brother.
Love
Take
y'all.
it easy.
Hey, listen, I love each and every one of y'all, and there's nothing you can do about it, man. See y'all everybody that's coming to Atlanta on the ground, safe travels, plane, trains, automobiles. I'm gonna try my best to be here for everybody. Be safe, man, out there.
Yeah.
And be thankful. Every time you get home, you really need to understand who God is. I
That part
promise
right
you.
there.
I don't care if you went to the store and made it back. I don't care if you hung out with your boys and made it back. You really need to understand the goodness and the grace and the mercy of God. I promise you.
That part. Hey, tell Queen we said good night.
I surely will. All right, brother.
All right, boss.
Didn't make it.
Hey.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, Saints and Aints, everybody, including Lottie Dottie. That was Big Sale in the building, making it do what it do. We're going to let this play for a quick second here, because this right here, yeah, this is the jam.
I was one of the ones who did. Y'all come on and help me sing.
You see, ladies and gentlemen, Saints and Aints, I realized that if it had not been for the grace of God, I wouldn't be where I am right now. So, you know, I don't have a problem giving him the praise, the glory, and the honor. I don't have a problem extending grace because God did that for me. You know what I mean? And so motorcycle ministry is a big thing for me. I mean, it's a passion of mine. If I didn't have the Kingdom Alignment Motorcycle Ministry patch on my back, I'd still be doing what I'm doing. I'm going to ride my motorcycle. I'm going to show love. I'm going to collect miles and smiles. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to ride my ride. I might not be able to ride the way you ride, but I'm going to ride my ride. I'm going to remain a student because a gentleman told me many years ago, he said, forget what you think you know and learn what you don't. And there's a whole lot that I do not know, folks. So I'm just trying to learn as much as I can while I can, which is one of the reasons why we started the Retro Philosophy Show. We wanted to be able to bring different people on at different times and hear different perspectives. My voice is not the only voice of reason. Come on, somebody. I'm saying I get calls and things of that nature from different times, and they shed light. They drop nuggets. They offer wisdom, and I am forever a student. So we want to thank you for joining us here on tonight. As I said, we're going to do our best to keep it classy, keep it, top notch. But at the same time, we can't shy away from things that need to be discussed, okay? So we've got to change the narrative, ladies and gentlemen, where we no longer address issues and speak on matters that need to be spoken on. Quite frankly, when we do that, we empower the imposter. When we fail to speak up on certain things, we continue to allow them to victimize other people. And so we must be willing to open our mouths and speak. Be respectful, be considerate, but still speak. Tank, God bless you, sir. Thank you for joining the show on tonight. If anything that was said and done was good, then it's to God's glory and honor. Ladies and gentlemen, Saints and Aints, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, it's your boy Retro, man. We want to thank you for pressing play. You guys have yourselves a great night. We'll talk to you soon.
It's the Retro Philosophy Show. Go on and tell everybody you know. Yo, what's up, everybody? You already know what it is. It's your homegirl, Lottie Dottie. I'm in the building hanging out with Retro, and he ain't never lied.
Say, man, you know what it is, man. Special guest in the building. Much love and respect to my man, Retro, stopping through, y'all. Y'all know what to do.
Big Sell. You still keeping it 100.
Yo, what up? This is Marvin Gibson, aka Big Gip, and you are now tuned in to the Retro Philosophy Show.
Hey now, this is the Mileage Bully, the Motor Mob CEO, home of the Moto Mob where legends are made. You are now tuned in to the Retro Philosophy Show. Like, share, and subscribe. You know what to do. Press play.
What's up, everybody? This is your man Pablo Frescobar on the Retro Philosophy Podcast, talking about my newly published book, Courage Unveiled, Navigating the Battlefield Within.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this your man Kodak, the most hated, coming to you live from the Retro Philosophy Show, where I always listen to my man 50 Grand, Pastor Retro. You know what it is.
Kingdom alignment on assignment for the king. Hope you're ready for the show. Thanks for tuning in.